In this video, I will show you how to migrate your on-premises database data or AWS database data into the AWS database. For that, we need on-premises database or AWS database, and we need AWS database. And to connect these two database, we need source endpoint and target endpoint, and we need another one services called replication instance. It is act as a intermediate between target endpoint and source endpoint, and I will show you how to migrate data. For that, go to AWS and go to RDS. And now I don't have any on-premises database. For that, I will select AWS database to migrate this database data to AWS database. For that, we need two database, one for source and another one for targeted. First, click on create and select easy to create or standard create, whatever you want. I will choose standard create and I will select MySQL and go down. I will choose free tier and I will give the database name source, and I will rename the username root, and I will give the database password. And uncheck the auto scaling, go down, select your VPC and subnet group also, and you just select public access. And here I have security policies. I will choose my security policies. In this security policies, I allowed all traffic. You should allow some ports. For that, I configured all access. And again, I will select US East 1A and no need, and go to additional configuration. Here we have a database port 3306, and go down and click on additional configuration and just uncheck the backup and encryption and go down maintenance also, and just click on create database. Now we have created our source or on-premises database, and we need to create another database for AWS for target instances. We have to migrate this database data into this AWS database. For that, we need another one database. I will name it like destination or targeted. Okay, we choose standard MySQL, go down, select with tier, and I will give like destination, and I will change the database username and password. Uncheck the auto scaling, yes, and security policy RDP, and I will choose East 1A and click on, here we have 3306 code, and click on additional and uncheck uncheck and just click create database. Now we have destination and source databases, source and destination database, and we have to create one replication instance and source endpoint and target endpoint. For that we have to open the DMS service. For that you just type DMS means database migration services. Okay, here I will click on create replication instance. I will create this part replication instance, and I will name it replication instance, and go down, and I will select a development or test workload, and go down. I will choose default application, default public accessibility. Yes, we want, and our it is on 1 year, and VPC default, and okay, I will choose AWS RDS and click on maintenance. Okay, 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 it's done. Now click on create replication instance. Now we have created a replication instance this part, and we need to create source endpoint and target endpoint. For that we need to wait some time. Let me check these two instances are up and running or not. Now source is up and running, it's available. Now we can access. Mm, okay, I will click on source, and I will copy the endpoint, and you should have MySQL workbench to access this database. For that I have downloaded the MySQL workbench and installed it in our laptop, and open that and click on database, connect database, and here you just paste endpoint name, and we have root as a username, and type your password and click on OK. Okay, now the source database, this database is accessible. I will create one database inside the this RDS database. I will just click on this icon, and I will give the database name like staff, and I will click on apply button and just apply it. Okay, finish it. Inside the staff we have to create one table. For that you just select staff, double click it, then you will get like this bold icon, and go to this icon, click on that, and you just give the table name. I will give name uh, mail. Okay, then just double click it, ID, then I will select primary key and unique key, and here name, and mail ID, and contact. This one is number. For that I will select data type int, male name, contact, and father and mother. Okay, it's enough, and just click on apply. Apply. Okay, we are getting some. Okay, okay. ID name, name. done. Now finish. Then go to that mail table and just select it and go to this icon, click on that. Now I will add ID number 1 and name is Raju and mail ID raju at gmail.com. Contact father hh and mother. Okay, then second row. Okay, number. Okay, okay, just click on apply. Okay. Now we have created a source database, and inside the database we have added the data, and we have to move this mail table into the AWS database. For that we need source endpoint, target endpoint, and replication instance. We have already created replication instance. Let me check whether it is up and running or not. Okay, go to okay. Now select destination. Let me check whether it is accessible or not. Then now we have source and click on database connection and paste it to the value and type your password. Okay, now here we don't have any database in destination database. In source database we have database like staff, and inside the staff we have one table mail. And let me check the okay, replication is creating state. Now the replication instance up and running. Now we have done this part and this part, and we have created the replication instance. Now we need to create a source endpoint and target endpoint. For that, go to endpoints, and first we will create source endpoint. For that, select source endpoint. Here we have to select RDS DB instance and select your source endpoint or source database. Then okay, here we have source. Go down and just click on provide access information, and here you have to mention your database password. And okay, 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 okay. Here we can check our source endpoint connected to the on-premises or AWS database or not. Just click on run test. It will checks the connectivity between source endpoint to on-premises or AWS database. Showing status testing. Okay, the status is successful. Then you just click create endpoint. Now we have created the source endpoint, and now we need to create a target endpoint. Same procedure, but we have to choose target, and the database name is destination. Okay, here we have to select provide access. Just type your go down. Okay, just test our connection. Okay, run test. status is testing. Okay, it's successful and click create endpoint. Now we have two endpoints. Mm, this part and this part and this part, this part is done, and we have to connect all these services in one task. For that we need um, database migration task. Using this option we will transfer the database into the on-premises database data into AWS database. For that, click on migration task and click create task. Here just give the name task to migrate. Okay, then select your replication instance, this instance, and select your endpoint, source endpoint, this one, and select your destination endpoint, this one. Then here we have three option. You can choose migrate existing data or migration data, and replicate ongoing changes and replication data changes only. I will select migrate existing data. We have to transfer the existing data into AWS database. For that I will choose migrate existing data, and you just select do nothing and don't include, and okay. Okay, here just click add new selection rule. Here you choose enter schema, and here you have to give the um, here in source we have the schema like staff. We have to mention the schema name, I means database name, staff. Okay, staff staff. Okay, now go down. Okay, then click on create task. Now let me check um, the source. We have staff database. In my destination we don't have any database. After creation is done, now we will get the staff database into this database. Let me wait some time. Okay, now the status is ready. Okay, now it's starting to copy the database and tables, and inside the data to destination database. Now the status is running. Now wait for some time. It's copying the data from on-premises or source database into destination database. After completion of this process, we will get copied data base. go to your destination. Let me check, refresh it. Okay, now it's showing staff database here. It's under process. Now we will get staff database here. This is my source database here, and this is my destination database. Now we have transferred the database and data into the destination database. Okay, load is complete. Let me check. I will delete this connection and I will click on connection, new connection, and go to RDS and database, select destination and select endpoint, and paste it here and root and enter your password. Click on OK. Okay, go to table. Okay, inside the table, okay, here we have mail table, and inside the mail table we have Raju FF database. Like this, we can migrate our on-premise database into AWS database.